what do you see as the role of the African society?
The African society has multiple roles, and the main thing that the African society is concerned about is being an effective advocate for African staff on issues that affect African staff, and to be able to be a strong voice for the African staff within the bank and the IMF.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And also to be an advocate for Africa is one of the things you've talked about before.
That's one of the things. So the second thing is also to be this bridge between Africa, the bank, and IMF, and vice versa.
Right.
In the sense that the Africans should be able to inform the bank and the IMF what the reality in Africa is.
Right.
And input to the work of the bank and IMF in Africa. At the same time, the staff, the African society should be able to also advise African countries how they can strategically, position themselves to benefit from, what the bank and IMF has to offer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And also, another role of the African society is to develop strategic relationships with external organizations, also internal machinery within the bank, which would include management, would include staff association, would include also the conflict resolution system, to develop relationships with those groups.
Right.
And at the same time, externally, develop relationships with, for example, Congressional Black Caucus, the African Diplomatic Corps, the Constituency for Africa. These are organizations that are helpful with, in terms of the work that the African society has to do for its membership, and even for the African society to have some value added for management in both the bank and the IMF. And then finally, of course,
you ready? Okay.
One of the four, it's four-pronged. One of the four roles of the African society is also to be a custodian for mentoring and nurturing. Mentoring of the society members by the society members. And that's also very